Welcome back trackside once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight, the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series fires things off for race number 9 here in season number 9. The South Carolina Lottery 154, live here from the Lady in Black, the track Too Tough to Tame. Darlington Raceway hosting tonight's race. How you doing? How you feeling? Out there in TV land, race fans, glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, Dave in the Cave bringing you all the calls from trackside. Speaking of trackside, qualifying just about halfway. Alan Bledsoe, sitting top of the speed charts right now for the moment, in control of that premier racing setup. Pole position, track temperature 88 degrees. Driver's going to be finding a little bit of grip at a turn number 4. We'll see how many Darlington stripes we get here tonight. But before we get ready for the pre-race show, what do you say we jump to some of those qualifying times over there to the left-hand side of your screen? There you can see Alan Bledsoe top the speed charts. Quick time 29:36. For Bledsoe, Riley Hoots right behind him. How about TJ Grober? Great run here tonight by Grober behind the wheel of that number 18 Camaro. 2 fast forwards finish out your top 5. 16 car field here tonight. Will we see a fresh face to victory lane, or will we get only our second repeat winner of the season? Only Derek Moore has been able to visit victory lane more than once. Will we see somebody else do it again? We'll find out shortly as the time ticks away on the stopwatch here in qualifying. Walking away with the pole position here tonight behind the wheel of that fast number 24, Alan Bledsoe, will bring us to the green flag here tonight. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break, head trackside for your national anthem. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave
and we bring you back trackside. Excuse us, as the flyover has finished, the sun begins to dip behind the clouds and fade off to the west coast. We will finish tonight's race under the lights here at Darlington Raceway. Throwback season in full swing as drivers make their way through final pre-race inspection and onto the starting grid. What do you say we get a little closer to the track? Looks to be only Nick Burlow caught up down there in pre-race inspection. Taking a little look at that right rear. He's going to work his way to the starting grid now, and we'll get set for 111 laps at a very tough, very difficult, very technical Darlington Raceway. Telling you, if you haven't witnessed racing at Darlington, you need to get there because it is absolutely one hell of a night. Speaking of a heck of a night, we've got one in front of you here. As you hear the music in the background, official word from the boss man at the flag stand, the pace car begins to roll. It's time to run down tonight's starting lineup in the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series right here in the South Carolina Lottery. 154, snatching the pole position, 29:35 the quick time in qualifying for Alan Bledsoe. Inside row number 1 will bring us to the green flag. Riley Hoot's gonna start just to his outside with TJ Grober and Cody Schultz back in row 2. Row number 3 tonight, Nick Burlow and Doug Argabright, Christian Abati and Carlos Ramos in row 4. Row number 5 here tonight, behind the wheel of that fast number 99 machine, Nicholas Wing at the 28 of Brian Tarnowski. Patrick Coro, John Timms in row number 6. And in row number 7 here tonight from Darlington, Dave Gage and Zach Miller. Daniel Jensen, Jake Dofing will finish out the 16-car field, doubled up, ready to roll off before, and as the music fades, we will go green flag racing for the first time here in Darlington. Handful of drivers already tiptoeing through the tulips at the top of the racetrack. You can see the 9 of Riley Hoops. Oh, into the outside wall. 2 drivers in the back. Going to slam off of the outside wall. And that's going to be Zach Miller and Jake Dofing, both with contact here. Exit to turn number 2. Big hits. You can see those 2 drivers in the background avoiding that outside wall coming out of 4. Stayed well low on the racetrack as drivers drift to the top. Through 1 and 2, everybody still chasing your pole sitter down the back stretch on lap 2. At a 4 and across the start finish line, we'll head back into turn number 1. Single file already here at Darlington Raceway, and single file racing is what you'll see the most of here tonight from Darlington. Not really a 2-lane track. It can be if you want to push the envelope, if you want to push the issues alone. Looks like in the back again, Jensen a little bit of contact with that outside wall. Jake Dofing on the pit road to address the damage early here tonight. So lap number 4 going to go on the board. We'll drop the timing and scoring over there to the left-hand side of your screen. Let you find and follow along with your favorite driver in the field here tonight. And really, these exits, these corner exits are very unique, almost unlike it to any other track, really, that we visit throughout the season. Turn number 2, it narrows up and it has a little bit of a crest of a hill, almost Dover-ish, coming out of 4. 1 and 2 closes up. There it is, that close up, that outside wall really jumps out at you really quickly here. turn number 4. Working your way out of the corner exit. If you don't get the center correct here at Darlington, you're going to pay the price. There it is. Contact Riley Hoots, Darlington stripe on the exit of 4. 3 drivers already picking up a little bit of damage here at the Lady in Black. Hoots with another piece of the ball. Drivers are going to have to minimize those mistakes. It's not a matter of if you hit the wall. It's a matter of when you hit the wall and how much damage is sustained. Watching the battle continue to unfold for that first and second position. Riley Hoops not allowing Bledsoe to get away right now. Still running in the tire tracks. The number 9 Napa Auto Parts machine has been into the outside wall. Not significant damage. Cars are almost built for it here at Darlington. Very common to see these guys into that outside wall. Taking a look now at the Red Mist podcast number 45 Camaro of Christian Abati, finally breaking through, finally getting to victory lane last week at Circuit of the Americas. Put on an absolute show at Coda. He's got a little bit of ground to make up here tonight. He's got some heavy hitters around him. We'll see if he can't make his way by Burlow or Grober, who have been fast here tonight since unloading. So we're going to look for that 1851 to be in the mix for quite some time here tonight, a little further back through the field. Let's go back to a little bit of a, not quite a hornet's nest, but we do have drivers looking for positions on each other. The 404, PR, Taco Palace, and Margarita Bar. Camaro trying to close in on the Mustang in front of him. That's Daniel Jensen sitting behind the wheel of that number 4 machine. 77 of John Timms just behind them, sitting in 13th. We are hearing official word. Jake Doffy. Significant contact on the right side of the car. Knocked the toe loose. Knocked the toe out a little bit. They are feverishly working down there on pit road. He's going to continue to try to fight things out here tonight, because you never know what might happen. At the Lady in Black, you could find yourself 10 laps down, but still walking away with a solid top 5. Darlington, definitely one of those unforgiving tracks that it pays to have perseverance. Speaking of perseverance, look at this side-by-side racing action now. Daniel Jensen inside the lane, putting Brian Ternowski in a little bit of a compromising situation on that outside lane, working off of 4. Going to yield to position now, the Texaco Javelin. So it's a beautiful little throwback right there, ain't it? Absolutely love it. Oh, into the outside wall, just a little Darlington stripe that time. Green 4, no cause for concern. It is going to bring Dave Gage in the mix now. Gage going to look to the bottom, inside lane into 1, cut it on the apron just a little bit. Going to be tough to keep that 404 down on the bottom. He's going to keep it down. Oh, man. He's going to keep it on the bottom, but absolutely pancake the right side of the car off of the outside wall out of 2. Big contact. Let's head back to the battles at the front. We don't want to get away from up here. Check things out. We've got a new race leader. Handful of laps ago, Riley Hoops was able to make the pass, able to pick up that position and go to the top spot. open up about a 3-car length advantage as Bledsoe falls back into the clutches of TJ Grover, running at third. Nick Burlow still solidly inside of the top 5, sitting in that 4th position. Christian Abate finishes out the top 5 with a big gap back to 6th place runner Cody Schultz, as almost into the outside wall was Abate, and that was pretty close. Again, common theme, contact outside wall. Multiple drivers already into the outside wall as we take a look down the driver's side. The 51 of Nick Burnell looking back at that Red Mist Podcast 45 Camaro of Abate. You can hear him really have to work off of the throttle on the exit of 2 here. And I don't want to say it's concerning, but a little bit of contact. You can hear a little scrape of that wall, and you can see a little bit of stripes down the wall. That's right. That's why they call it the Darlington stripe. You don't just pick up some paint. You leave some behind as well. As we continue the long green flag run, we're going to jump back outside of the car. Let's head around the track to a handful of the battles. Secondary, Texaco Havoline machine in the field here tonight. Nicholas Wayne looking good behind the wheel of the 99 Ford Mustang. And so we haven't even mentioned this yet. We haven't even talked about this yet. Sun setting in the background. Track conditions will change as the sun sets. The track will cool down. The track's going to gain a little grip. But at what point does the track truly begin to cool? We've got 16 drivers in the field here tonight. They're going to be putting heat into the track with every lap that they go around. The longer these green flag runs, the more heat that is going to be put in the track. So how much will nightfall affect tonight's race? Whose crew chief is going to be there with the right calls at the right time? And which one of these drivers? I know it's only lap number 20. Oh, hard contact again. Second time, big pancake. Whew. Dave Gage struggling a little bit here tonight. Oh, and more contact. 38 going to make contact with the outside wall. Zach Miller with some problems. Which one of these drivers, as we were saying, which one of these drivers is going to get it right coming to pit road? Darlington Raceway, one of my personal opinion and belief, Darlington Raceway, one of the absolute toughest pit roads to get on. Making your way off a pit road, not so bad. Got to be a little bit careful late on the corner exit of 2 down there on the apron. But getting to pit road here on Darlington, just when you think you got the car low enough and to the left-hand side of the apron enough, that final little bend right there, it just catches you off guard. So green flag pit stops looming in the near future. The pit markers have got to become prevalent. You got to start eyeballing. You got to start looking at them. Here I would say in the next 5 laps, you really going to have to start identifying when you're going to make your way off the track and down to pit road. Doug Argabright behind the wheel of his Hot Wheels number 41 machine. The Toyota Supra, a little bit of contact with the outside wall. As to no surprise, it's not as big here at Darlington. As I've said, drivers, crew chiefs, car owners, and teams have pretty much become accustomed to walking away with some right side damage here at Darlington. It's the left side damage that you really don't want to have. So as lap number 24 gets underway, we're going to jump around the track just a little bit once again. Carlos Ramos right here, trying to hound down and pick up a position on Doug Argabright. Daniel Jensen waiting in the wings in the background. The Ford Mustang number 4. sitting in ninth, flirting with contact with the outside wall. Gonna avoid it this time off of 4, but whew, man, it's getting close. "25 deep into tonight's green flag run here at Darlington Raceway. You're watching the South Carolina Lottery 154, brought to you by the American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. Look for a long green flag run here at Darlington. It looks like drivers beginning to separate themselves. Those gaps beginning to become a little more consistent. We do have slight battles out here on racetrack. Argobart, Ramos, and Jensen, your closest 3 drivers to each other. So lap 27 on the board. Drivers with a quick pace here tonight. Sub 30 second laps. 1.3 miles in less than 30 seconds. Quickest time on the racetrack so far here in race trim, 29:48 for second place runner Alan Bledsoe. Bledsoe was your Premier Racing Senate Pole Award winner with a 29:35. So not too far off of that qualifying pace. Can Bledsoe reel your race leader back in? He's got him in his sights. We're going to transition up there here in just a moment. Let's watch this battle unfold between Argobart and Ramos. So we've started to talk about green flag pit stops here tonight. We've talked about the pit road entry. We haven't mentioned your championship standings coming into tonight's race. A lot on the line as the season begins that downhill journey to the end of the season. 12-week season number 9. Gentlemen, is that right? 12, only 12 weeks? That can't be right, is it? Yes, 12 weeks. Week number 8, we apologize. Week number 8, a little bit ahead of ourselves. Looking to try to get to Sin City. We like to gamble, so we're looking for a little casino action, trying to get there a little bit early, but race number 8 here tonight. And those point standings starting to get a little bit tight as we get closer and closer to the end of this season. Coming into tonight's race, just 9 points out front as your points leader. Not in the field here tonight, Derek Moore. Well, more than likely, no pun intended, heading to Las Vegas. Sitting outside of that top spot, Doug Argobart, Burlow, Wing, Jensen, all of those drivers sitting inside of the top 10, so they're going to make some significant gains in the point standings. There you can see Patrick Coro, the 91, falling off of the lead lap. The 91 going to be listed as the first and only driver off of the lead lap, and the 91 just slightly off of pace here tonight. And behind the TLP 91 machine, looking to have a solid night and a solid run. A little bit of contact with that outside wall, but again, as to nobody's surprise, handful of drivers with contact here tonight. We're going to take a look once again at your top 2 drivers as they continue to pound the pavement here at Darlington. And how about the man running in that 5th position? Let's take a look at Christian Abate, last week's race winner, walking away with his first win of the season last week from Darlington Raceway. We're going to take a look off at the tail end of that 45 now, because there you can see him behind That is the 5 of Cody Schultz slowly closing into position. Bonte able to jump 4 positions in the point standings. We'll see if he can gain a little bit more here tonight. A second win will for sure do his point standings, his season standings, a lot of justice. We'll see if he can get the job done here tonight. For the moment, sitting in the final spot inside of the top 5. We'll see if he can transition a little closer and into a podium position. Lap traffic laid out just in front with the 5 of Schultz behind. Argo Bright, Ramos, and Jensen still going at it. Argo Bright sitting in that 7th position behind the wheel of that Hot Wheels machine. Looking good here tonight, but Carlos Ramos all over him, and Jensen gonna dive to the bottom. Ooh, almost contact. A little bit of wash up the bottom of the racetrack there. A little bit of an opportunistic moment there for Jensen. Tried, just was unsuccessful at making the work center off. And he's going to lose about a car length and a half. Going to re-rack him, restack him, and try to rerun it. And see if he can get around Ramos. For that 7th position. Meanwhile, things heating up at the front. Battle once again between your top 2. Riley Hoops showing the way, but pole sitter behind the wheel of that iconic 24 DuPont paint scheme can Alan Bledsoe work his way back to the point. Green flag pit stops have begun. Abati, Jensen, Wing, Grober all onto pit road. TJ getting back up to speed off of the lead lap for the moment. How far will this green flag pit stop stretch itself out? Nick Burlow, Cody Schultz, Carlos Ramos all to pit road this latest time around. Boots Bledsoe and Argobalite remain on the track out front. Zach Miller, Brian Ternowski, as well as John Timms and Dave Gage yet to hit pit road. Gage with contact earlier, and how about Hoots making a last-ditch effort to come to pit road? Seen Alan Bledsoe coming to pit road in that rear view mirror, said, no you don't, you're not going to undercut me. Late exit of the track and onto pit road, but still, fine job getting woed up. That's going to leave Zach Miller with potential to take over the race lead. The Toyota Super Driver going to work his way off of 4. He's going to stay out at least one more lap. Brian Ternowski, John Timms, and Dave Gage still yet to hit pit road. Five sets of tires behind pit wall for these drivers here tonight at Darlington Raceway. Use one set right here. I can guarantee you that. You're not coming to pit road or not putting 4 fresh tires on it at Darlington. Absolutely not. You would probably ask for 8 tires if it was possible. Grip and premium at the tough. Darlington Raceway for tonight, South Carolina Lottery 154. We've been clean and good all race long. 41 laps of green flag action to open things up here tonight as we transition a little bit further into the darkness. The track lights are on, and we're going to finish things under the lights here tonight from Darlington Raceway. Miller, Ternowski, Timms, and Gage still out on the racetrack. Still needing to hit pit road. Oh, and big contact now. Big contact, and there's our first caution of the night. Big contact at a 4 for race leader Zach Miller. Contact with the outside wall. Doug Argabright going to pick up a piece of the action. Let's go to the replay, and there it is. Ramos picking up a good bit of the action as well. Guys, can we go a little closer to the track with this one and maybe speed it up just a little bit? Yeah, well, okay. We appreciate it. There it is. There it goes. And that's a big lick by Ramos on the tail end of that U.S. Army number 38 machine. Lieutenant Carlos Ramos going to pick up a little bit of damage. You can see the rear bumper cover completely ripped off of the 38. That's going to be some big trouble for Ramos. Zach Miller going to have to head to pit road. Jonowski into pit lane. Zach Miller to pit road. We'll see where the rest of the field decides to go. And how about the Sim Magic number 18 machine, man? Talk about right place, right time. TJ Gruber on to pit road first, back on lap number 35. He's going to gain the race lead. Zach Miller has yet to come to pit road yet. Pit road will be open. I would expect to see that 38 to pit lane. There's no way he tries to stay out here. I mean, you're at the verge of needing your green flag pit stop anyway. I don't see how you can stay out from here on out. The Magic 18 trying to save a little bit of fuel too, staying down on that apron through 1 and 2, so we're going to eyeball that as well. We've already got a pretty good measuring stick somewhere around lap 35 to 45. Seems to be the magic numbers for the pit stops. We'll see when these drivers decide to come to pit road once again. And things are going to turn into basically a one stop from here. I think drivers are going to have to make at least one more stop from here. They're going to be able to carry that to the end of the race. So, big question while we're under caution, all you race fans out in TV land, is what do you do here? Right, you know Darlington will eat up the tires. You know tire wear will be big. Fresh tires will be a huge difference maker. When we're looking at this thing, we're looking at drivers heading to pit road somewhere around lap 70 to 80. Right, that gives them enough to get to the end. Do you run it backwards? If you're John Timms, if you're Brian Janowski, you were just on to pit road at lap 43. You just came to pit road. You can get to work your way to about lap, what's that going to be, guys? About lap 40, lap 84, 86. Leaving you a much shorter run. Less than 30 laps. Right about 25 laps to be exact. So do you pit early? Do you pit 25 laps from now is what I'm getting at. Do you run it backwards? Do you get that short time done with and then have the much longer run to where you can really utilize the fresh tires now? Because they do have about 5 lap fresher tires than the drivers that are in front of them. Do you utilize that fresh tire advantage now and for at least 10 to 15 laps as drivers continue to fall off and you are super quick? I'm liking the play. I think I'm going to call my driver to pit road right around lap number 80. And I don't care about the rest. I'm calling to pit road. I want you to start eyeballing pit lane entry, lap 77. We're pitting on lap 80, and we're going to carry it from there. I need all you can get me right here. Use every bit of the tires up because it's not going to be a full green flag run. We'll see how they go. Grover going to lead us to the start, the restart for the first time here tonight. The 18's going to wait for the loud pedal and on the gas. Green flag flies once again here in the South Carolina Educational Lottery 154. single file racing at the front, pass being made for the race lead. Riley Hoop's gonna go right to the point once again. Whoa, big moment there. Cody Schultz with a big slide out of turn number 2. Looks like the Magic 18 of Grover willing to give up some positions at the start of this green flag run. We'll see if that comes back into play a little bit later on. As this green flag run unwinds, we'll see if he's able to keep a little bit more pace on those good years than his fellow drivers behind him. Lap number 50 gonna go on the board this time around, just 5 laps away from the halfway point, so we will drop that time out scoring back to the left-hand side of your screen. Let you find and follow along with your favorite driver in the field here tonight as we continue to click off laps as the sun sets in beautiful South Carolina. There ain't nothing like, well, I'm a little biased because I've spent the majority of my life down here, but ain't nothing prettier than a southern sunset. I know I'm probably going to catch some flack for that one, but it is what it is. Right? If you can't sit on the front porch swing and sip some sweet tea with some pecan pie and watch a beautiful sunset, I don't know. Maybe we can't talk. Maybe we can't be friends. I don't know. But I do know stacked up at the front of this field once again, 1 and 2 on the racetrack, just as they were before the round of green flag pit stops. The Napa Auto Parts number 9 machine of Riley Hoops showing once again. Alan Bledsoe sitting in second. Christian Amati picking up a position. Up now into the fourth spot. McDonald Vincent back to fourth. Cody Schultz, Doug Argerbright, Brian Tanowski, and Daniel Jensen, John Timms. We'll finish out your top 10. Early trouble here tonight, and after the contact, the toe being knocked out, Jake Dauphin, unfortunately, will push his number 13 Ford Mustang back behind pit wall in an early exit here tonight. From the Lady in Black, the track too tough to tame, Darlington Raceway claims its first victim as we wind around the corner from the halfway point. What do you say we kick it off with your driver highlights, your mid-race report here tonight? Oh, and contact with some lap cars, and oh my gosh, big implications in this one. Riley Hoot, Zach Miller involved. Oh no, big time issues. Let's go check the replay there to see. Oh man, off of 4, nowhere to go for your race leader. Let's bring it back one more time, guys. Can we see it one more time? There it is, nowhere to go with the 38 in front of him. Alan Bledsoe with a little hit to the back. Big contact on the front and the rear of that 9 of Hoots. We'll see if we got one more camera, guys. Do we got the drone for this one? Can we see that one, please? Let's get to that one. There it is, there's contact. Abati getting pushed from behind the 51. Contact with both Hoots in that inside wall. So the left front heavily damaged on the 51. Telling you, man. A lot just went on and a lot just went down. Speaking of going down, a lot of drivers down to pit road under our second caution here tonight, just at our halfway point. So we'll hold off on the driver highlights and spotlights. We'll bring you back to your mid-race report at the conclusion of the pit stops. But for the moment, we're going to step away for a brief commercial break, pay a few of those sponsored bills. You know how that goes, so don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be back with all your green flag action right here from Darlington Raceway.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
In back trackside, just as promised, drivers doubled up. Heading into turn 3, we're going to get ready to restart once again. Here from Darlington Raceway. Pace car in, we're ready to roll once again. And fire this thing off. We're going to work our way off of 4. Argabright and Gruber bring us back to the green flag into the restart zone. All the gas in green. Flag flies once again. Argabright keeping 10-lap older tires than the rest of the drivers in this field. We'll see if that plays out into his advantage. Everybody's still going to have to hit pit road. Everybody still has to hit pit lane before the end of tonight's race. As we watch from high above with the turn 3 drone cam for the moment, let's get a little closer trackside. And media comments coming in from just outside of the infield care center. Looks to be a little bit unpleased with the situation involving our latest incident. Riley Hoots a little bit displeasured with the speed of that 38 of Zach Miller, who sustained quite a bit of contact earlier, quite a bit of damage, a little bit off pace. Hoots would know where to go. Bledsoe into the back of Hoots, into the 38. Carnage and chaos from that moment forward. And for the retirements of Doping, Gage, Burlow, all out of tonight's race. Riley Hoots' team feverishly working to try to get that Number 9 Napa Auto Parts machine back out on the racetrack and salvage some sort of a decent finish here tonight. Will we see more troubles for more drivers? We'll have to find out as things heat up as the night ride begins here in South Carolina. Looking to the inside now, TJ Grover looking for the position on Argo Brown. 10-lap pressure tires, and there's going to be the difference, and into the outside wall. No grip on the high side for that Hot Wheels 41. So with a handful of laps behind us after the restart, we'll drop the timing and scoring back to the left-hand side of your screen once again. Oh, big wiggle. Big wiggle from Turnowski. Seen that 28 wiggle on the bottom of the racetrack just in front of Bledsoe. Going to go to the high side of good contact with both the 24 and the outside wall, but he will lose the position. Daniel Jensen looks to be struggling a little bit with rear grip. Let's take a look. Let's keep an eye on this number 4 machine for just a moment here. It seems to be struggling just a little bit. Let's take a look behind the wheel. Let's see what the hands are doing inside of this 4 machine. Looks a little bit out of shape and heading right into turn number 1. We're going to get a full view here. Everything seemed to be pretty smooth that time off of turn 2. You could hear him work the throttle just a little bit through the center of the corner. Once again, working the throttle egg-shelly. There's a little bit of correction right there off of 4, but you can hear how ginger these drivers are getting in and out of the gas. When they get back to the gas, you can hear them right there. They're not wide open again. Nice little squeeze of the throttle. Lay off, squeezed again. Full throttle down the backstretch. Big close in on that 41, diving down to the inside now. Jensen looking for the pass side by side with Argabright at the top and Turnowski into the outside wall. Argabright going to pick up a piece of the outside wall as well. Mr. Opportunistic Alan Bledsoe going to take advantage of the problems out of that 41 and pick up a position to 38 down at the bottom of the racetrack, well off the base. Heavily damaged machine down there on the apron. Continue trying to make some laps and try to salvage whatever points he can. And you can't fault a race driver for being out there trying to get anything and everything that he possibly can. Just I'm going to call it an unfortunate circumstance. I think spotters may have been a little late on the call. Spotters maybe could have called it a little bit sooner. Hey, look, you got a slower machine up here coming up. He's going to be on the outside. Let's back it up a little bit. Let's catch him coming a little bit further down the front stretch and easily make the pass heading down into turn 1. But sometimes you just can't judge those closing rates. Sometimes you can't predict when you truly are going to catch somebody in just an unfortunate racing circumstance there between a very fast number 9 and a Auto Parts machine and Riley Hoots with 38 of Zach Miller. Crossing the line this time around, lap number 70 going to go on the board. We've got ourselves right at about 42 laps remaining here tonight. Oh, big slide. Holy jeez, did you see that? Huge slide. And the Budweiser Ford. We've seen Jensen struggling with that rear grip for a handful of laps now. With a huge slide, that is definitely going to upset those tires. Now, race fans, here's where the strategy gets good. This time around, lap number 71 going to go on the board. We've got ourselves 41 laps to the end of tonight's race. Drivers were last to pit road back on lap number 55. When will we see our first driver head to pit road. How quickly will that kick off what could be, what should be, our final round of green flag pit stops? Bledsoe gonna nose just to the inside of the Ford. Getting him thinking about it, getting him protecting just a little bit, see if he can't play a little bit of a mental game. Also going to fall back about a car length now on Jensen as they work off of two. Cody Schultz almost into the outside wall, all but into the outside wall was Bledsoe that time. Let's transition back to the front here. We've got some good battles with the front. Race leader Grober, 1.5 car length advantage. Hot and heavy battle for second and third. Jensen not too far off in fourth. So your top 5, throw a blanket over him. Less than a second and a half. Less than a second and a half separate these drivers as they close back in on the Wounded Warrior down on the bottom of the racetrack. The U.S. Army sponsor number 38 machine continues to limp around the track all the time. As we begin to creep into full darkness here in the South Carolina Education Lottery 154, live from Darlington Raceway. You're watching American City Motor Racing, Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. So prior to the 2 cautions, we talked about when drivers should be eyeballing pit road. We said drivers should be eyeballing pit road somewhere around lap 80 to 85. We were just about 5 to 10 laps away from that mark. They were able to save a lot of fuel. They were able to top off back on lap 55. So that's going to extend the fuel run somewhere closer to maybe that lap 92 to 97 mark. Drivers definitely have to come back to pit road. But when do you do it? If you're the race leader right now, TJ Grover, you head to pit road now. I can all but guarantee you that 45, the 5, the 4, the 24, they're going to be looking ahead to pit road within the next 2 laps after you head to pit road. Looking to the inside, Daniel Jensen going to pick up a spot. Cody Schultz a little bit slow in corner entry. Bledsoe has to yield. Jump way out of the gas to avoid the contact. But we were going to say for a moment there, if you are Alan Bledsoe, could you play possum a little bit here? Could you be the first driver to kick off that round, the final round of green flag pit stops, and not really put up too many flags about, hey, drivers are pitting. Let's not let this undercut kill us. But now, I mean, Bledsoe as well as Schultz, they're kind of right in that realm. You got your race leaders, 1, 2, 3 on the racetrack, nose to tail, battling for positions on. Guarantee you their eyes are forward. They are not looking back right now, and you may be able to sneak off of the track. Daniel Jensen going to try his luck down to the bottom of the racetrack. Look for position. Not going to have it. Lose a little bit of ground here. Lose about a half a car length through the center of that corner. And oh, there you go. TJ Grover says, no, I don't want any part of this fight. You boys go ahead. And that may not be a bad move. Right, we are now just, 31, 32 laps away from the checkered flag flying. I'm looking for pit road. I want my driver on pit road. And I need you here now. TJ with a little bit of connection issues. B18 struggling a little bit with the connection issues here in the virtual world on iRacing.com, the world's #1 racing simulator. New race leader Christian Abati at the front, but he's got company. Daniel Jensen will not settle for second. He wants that race lead. Side Side by side off of 4 close quarters racing action. Drag race back across the line. They'll give the nod to Abati, but Jensen with position into one slide job through the center. And Alan Bledsoe peeking his nose to the inside. That's going to keep the crossover attempt at bay. I'm telling you, I want my driver to pit road. I think these crew chiefs have elected to work at the opposite strategy. I think we're going to see drivers pit road with about 20 laps to go. I think they're going to carry this fuel run out to somewhere around lap number 92 to 97 is when we should see drivers forced to pit road to get those tires in fuel. And there it is, Cody Schultz. He's going to peel for pit road. Doug Argerbright going to catch him in the act, and Argerbright going to follow suit. Both the 5 and 41 on the pit road. This time by. Of Patrick Coro going to join the duo down pit lane. Alan Bledsoe now looking to the inside of Abati. That's going to be a pass for second and third. And deja vu for Abati. He's going to see the 24 pull the same move. Oh, and into the outside wall. Followed him in as well. Bledsoe contacted the outside wall. Abati gonna join him. And for the moment, I don't think your race leaders have any idea that Kellogg's number 5 machine of Cody Schultz has come to pit road. I don't think they have any clue that the Ford has been to pit road for what could be his final stop of the night. I don't think these race leaders have noticed it yet. There it is, Daniel Jensen. He's had enough. He's going to wave the white flag. He's going to head to pit road this time by Bledsoe, Abati, Grover, Tarnowski, all going to stay out on the racetrack. John Timms, Nicholas Wynn still yet to make their pit stops. Still your race leaders electing to stay out here. I'm going to say very interesting. I would expect to see these drivers go ahead and try to minimize that short pit. Try to minimize the undercut by coming to pit road just after. We're now working, it looks to be about 4 to 5 laps further on the tires for your top 2, your top 3. Cody Schultz sitting in 7th position. First driver 1 lap down, much fresher tires. He is making up some headway. About a second and a half at least faster. Then you can see him just off in the distance. I mean, I understand the long game. That this 45 and your race leader right here, Alan Bledsoe. I understand the long game that their crew chief is playing, that they've bought into. We're going to give up some time on the front end, but we're going to have the fresh tires for the rest of the run. They're banking that this thing finishes under green conditions. There it is, hard on the brakes and down through the gears. The 24 going to head to pit road. Christian Abati looking for pit road as well. He'll enter pit lane as TJ Grober keeps that Sim Magic number 18 Camaro out on the racetrack. So your race leaders finally head to pit road. Timms and Wings still yet to decide where they're coming down pit lane. Cody Schultz going to move into the 6th position. Look for him to gain a couple more spots here as this green flag pit stop cycle finishes itself out. I'm liking this guy's chances right here. 2.8 second advantage over the 41 of Dunk Arterbright, who entered pit lane with him. There you can see that Hot Wheels number 41 just off in the background, the Toyota Supra. It's quick here tonight, but not quick enough to keep pace just yet. Cody Schultz has indeed utilized that undercut to put a big gap between himself and the fresh tires of that 24. We're looking at about a 5-second advantage with 20 laps to go for Schultz for the moment. Will he be able to keep it out? That's going to be the big question. Saving fuel. You can hear him clutching it through the corner. He's looking to make this the shortest stop that he can. He's going to come to pit road. I don't know. Do you get tires? I mean, well, interesting enough. I think that was TJ Grover we heard off in the distance. Cody Schultz can make it to the end. There's no need for him to be saving fuel. There's no need for him to be saving tires. He's got to go get every 10th he can right now. Try to build that gap between himself and Alan Bledsoe, as well as Christian Abati. Abati with a 3-second slower pit road delta, so he gave up quite a bit of track time to Bledsoe. But will the 24 and the 45 be able to leapfrog that 41? Put some pressure on Cody Schultz coming to the end of tonight's race. There you can see race leader TJ Grover just off in front of Cody for the moment. John Timms, Nicholas Wing, almost a lap down, still needing to make their green flag pit stop. So the race lead will rapidly change. It will immediately look different. Schultz gonna put himself back onto the lead lap the good old-fashioned way, and that spells trouble for that Sim Magic 18 machine. And there's no way he'd do this, right? We've seen drivers stretch at about 45 laps. That's about lap 100. There's no way he can stretch in another 10 laps. And we say there's no way, but we see that initial green flag run cut short. 43 laps into the green flag run, we've seen it cut short. We've seen drivers still out on pit road utilizing the long run. So we still don't have a clear-cut answer on how far these drivers can go on fuel. But having to save this amount of fuel, I don't see how Grover gets it done. I don't see how John Timms or the 99 Nicholas Wing can keep themselves on these podium positions, not with Cody Schultz, Alan Bledsoe, and Doug Arterbright closing in quickly. Let's take a look back here at this number 5 machine, closing in on third place runner Nicholas Wing. Much fresher tires on board the 5. He's going to look to the inside, not quite make the move on the pass. He's going to pick his fight. Oh my gosh, big moment there. Out of shape on the top side of the racetrack, back across the nose of that 5. Cody Schultz is going to have to check up, and that's going to leave Schultz in a little bit of a compromising situation. That's going to bring that 24 right into the mix. So the undercut has prevailed for the most part so far here for Cody Schultz. He's going to move his way into second. Alan Bledsoe going to pick up the final spot on the podium for the moment. Christian Abate trying to reel in Doug Argerbright, see if he can't pick up a position to move into that fifth spot. Still with your race leader yet to hit pit road. TJ Grover and Nicholas Wing continue to stay out there on the track. I don't see how they stay out another 10 laps. I mean, I just don't see it. You see Christian Abate able to make his way by your race leader, get himself back onto the lead lap the good old-fashioned way as well. But with 10 laps to go here at Darlington, you're looking at about, what's it going to be, about 13 laps. 13 miles, I apologize, about 13, 14 miles of racing action remaining here tonight in the South Carolina Educational Lottery 154. 111 laps scheduled here tonight. We've seen 3 cautions so far here tonight. The long green flag will run to the end. We've got big pit strategy, big fuel mileage gain going on right now here at the front of the field. We are with your race leader. Cody Schultz has been unable to keep Bledsoe behind him. 24 moves into the second position. Schultz going to fall back to third. Big gap back to Argerbright and Christian Abate. I don't think either of those drivers are going to have any issues moving up through the field, but how long can this Sim Magic Camaro run? And you can hear it. We don't even have to go inside of the car. You can hear it here trackside. He is definitely clutching and clutching big. And still has quite a bit of a gap to give up. That's the most important thing right now. You can see right there on the timing scoring 21.5 seconds with 7 laps to go. He can give up about 3 seconds a lap. Grover has yet to come to victory lane this season, so why not, right? You're this late into a run, you're this late into a race, you haven't been to victory lane. This may be your best opportunity to walk away with a race win. Why not throw the kitchen sink at it? Why not do something completely different and try to stretch it? And some of our veterans will say, well, Dave, with 5 laps to go, you got your example on why you don't do it. Very tough to keep the car underneath you without any power going to the end, going to the rear tires. Right? The engine's still underpowered, but when you push that clutch in, there's no more drive. You can't utilize the throttle to keep it out of that outside wall, and you just kind of drift it around. There again, hard impact. I don't know. Oh my God. You can't be serious. Will TJ Gruber be able to run 56 laps? 56 laps. That's going to be the fuel run to the end, race fans. Is it going to happen? 3 to go. 9.9 miles of racing remains here from Darlington Raceway. Man, I don't know who the strategist is, but salute. Ooh, big contact here with drivers closing in quickly. We're going to see the popsicle sticks go on display this time around. 2 to go. The South Carolina Education Lottery 154 TJ Gruber. Man, you are about. You're about in the history books. I don't think we have ever seen a 56-lap run. There is no way he is heading to pit road. He has got to be cutting this super short, and he's heading to pit road. Oh my goodness, with 1 to go, TJ Gruber is not going to be able to stretch it, and he will give up the race lead. Alan Bledsoe going to pick up the pieces as the white flag flies. Final lap here tonight in the South Carolina Education Lottery 154, live from Darlington Raceway. Man, what a show. What a night. Bledsoe off a 4 for the final time. He'll pick up the checkered flag as he crosses the line. First race win of the season for Bledsoe, so that's going to definitely do him some justice coming into tonight's race inside of the top 10 of the point standings. Looking to make up some headway and some ground, and after tonight's race winning performance, look for Bledsoe to be one of the drivers you're going to have to look out for. But we've got some great races coming up. As Bledsoe enjoys a cool down lap, he'll bring it to the front stretch into the attention of all the fans in the stands. Sold out show once again here at Darlington Raceway, and Alan Bledsoe gonna absolutely light it up here. Smoke show at the end of tonight's race, celebrating his first win of the season. Alan Bledsoe walks away with the race win. We're going to step away for just a brief commercial break, get things set up and ready to go for your post-race interviews. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
And back trackside at the conclusion of tonight's long run to the end here from Darlington Raceway. We're going to kick things off here with your post-race interviews. Let's see if we can dial up and have a few words with the man that walked away third here tonight. Final spot on the podium belongs to the man behind that 41 Hot Wheels machine. Doug, it's Dave. You got a copy?
Yes, I got you, sir.
Hey, bud, how you doing? How you feeling after a solid run and a solid finish to tonight's race?
It was a emotional roller coaster because Darlington is a track that I never really look forward to because the groove is about a car and a half wide. So I always fear for like incidents like I had with Miller and with Jensen. Like I feel really bad that got like put in the situations and ended up taking a couple cars out. But it's like I don't know. They kind of felt like racing against me. I already said sorry to Miller and Jensen, so it's like hopefully there's no hard feelings. But I'm just really happy that I was able to recover, especially after taking the EOL on the first one. I didn't pit because I accidentally took tires on the when I got the EOL. So if there was a late caution, I would have had an extra set, which ended up sitting in the pits anyways. But happy with the good result. I don't get the extra points for the 0x, but hopefully I'm leading the standings now. That Moore had to take a provisional, and that's what's important in the end. So hopefully I can lead something for the first time. And yeah, it was a good run.
Well, man, you were out front. You led some laps here tonight, and we're going to talk a little bit about real quick, just kind of something that you mentioned. I mean, the racing line here at Darlington Raceway, very, very narrow, very small. To be such a big track, it's got very little, quote unquote, racing room. How difficult was it to line up those passes and really make them work without giving up any momentum?
So the way I went about it was I was trying to, especially on the tire discrepancies, like in the middle of the cycle, was I honestly don't care if I lose time in the corner. I would rather, especially because a lot of with 1 and 2, you kind of have to diamond the corner to keep speed through. I'm like, I'll lose time there and try to set up on the exit, and that's what led to the first one with Miller, and also I think with Jensen because we were also really close. But honestly, the only reason I was able to do better um, after the first run was Carlos really told me like where to lift and kind of cut down to do everything better because again, Darlington is not a good track for me. And I think that's the only reason I was able to stay kind of net where I was when I stayed out and not lose too much position and then kind of stay up there. I think I was catching Cody a little bit at the end, so that would have been fun if we had another 5-10 laps. But if that would have happened, Abade probably would have passed me, so probably would have been still about where it was. But yeah, no, it was very difficult, very scary going too wide, especially because it's so narrow. But it's fun in the end. It's fun retrospectively. It's very tense when you're doing it.
Yeah, Darlington is definitely one of those tracks, at least from my standpoint. I love to watch racing there. I love to go and watch racing there. I don't like to be a part of the racing here though. I mean, that's just my standpoint. Absolutely love the track as long as I don't have to drive it. It's a great track. But so I don't know, maybe the sentiment a little bit the same there, but nonetheless, Doug, you're gonna walk away with a great points day. Going to finish with the final spot on the podium here tonight. So before we let you go from trackside, would you like to give any final shout outs? Thank you, love you.
Thank you, love you to you for always broadcasting and being amazing.
Oh, I love you too,
never really
man.
fit this high up. Never really finished this high up to say thank you like that on air. Also, thank you, love you to my mom for taking care of my grandpa while I do this because we're full-time caregivers for him, and she takes care of him while I'm doing this, so that way I can just worry about racing and not worry about him. And then also my fiance for putting up with me when I tell her about going in circles really fast, and she's like, "Cool, I'm glad you had a good time."
Well, I'm sure at some point in time, all of us have been in those shoes where you know whether it's your girlfriend, your parents, your friends, you tell them what you're doing here on iRacing, and they just kind of look at you like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So, a familiar feeling, but a familiar feeling for you here tonight. You're going to walk away with the podium position. Set yourself up for a good run when we head to Las Vegas next week. So we'll look to see you back on the podium in Sid City. But until then, my friend, stay safe and keep it fast.
All right, thank you, thank you. See you next week.
All right, there you have it. Final words for the man that walks away third here tonight. You can hear it from his voice. Uh, Positions on the track hard to come by. Very narrow quarters here at Darlington. It's what makes this track really tough. Not just the layout, not just the differing corners from one side to the other, the differential and the banking in 1 and 2 to 3 and 4, but altogether just a very tough place to get a very good finish from. But nonetheless, Doug Archerbright going to walk away with the final podium position here tonight, finishing in the third spot. And that's going to move us to the man that gave us a little bit of an exciting run there at the end, man. It looked like he had the strategy figured out. Gonna miss it just a little here, but we're gonna see if we can catch a word or two with the man that walked away second here tonight behind the wheel of that Kellogg's number 5. Cody, how you feeling after a fine finish, man?
Unbelievable. I did not think it was going to go this great, but it's good to be back up here talking to you, Dave.
Well, man, I want to get your thoughts on the strategy. It looked like you came to pit road. I would say, I think it was about 6 laps or so prior than anybody else. Um, did you think that was going to be enough to really solidify the undercut to give you the room you needed to get to the end?
Yeah, I thought it was, but honestly, I thought it was just going to lead a few laps and get past actually how Bledsoe passed me. He zoomed right past me because I didn't save nothing, which I got to work on. But I thought I'd figure, I'd lead a few laps. I did not think it would turn out to a second place finish, so it kind of worked out, which I'm glad it did.
Well, sometimes well, for me at least, I've been to Darlington a ton of times, and it's typically, and I don't mean this sideways by any means. It's Darlington produces those didn't know it was going to happen moments for a lot of different drivers because of the different struggles that this technical track brings. I mean, different corners, different bankings. Some people aren't really keen to the way you have to drive these racing lines here at Darlington. So there's a lot out there, and a lot of people tend to be surprised when they walk away with a good finish. So no surprise there with that sentiment, but nonetheless, Cody, you're going to walk away with a podium here tonight. Handful of weeks left in the season. How you feeling about these final 4 weeks?
Actually really good. 'Cause this is like the second time I've been talking to you, and like I'm ecstatic, and I just need to show up for more races. I know I get caught up doing other things on a Wednesday night, but this is another one of those tracks I did not think I was gonna get a podium finish, and honestly, Nick and Riley, if you're listening, you guys should have taken this, except Bledsoe was super fast. So, honestly, I should not be talking to you right now, but I'm sorry what happened to those two, and it feels good to be talking to you again, Dave. So,
Well, Cody, it's not about what could have happened or what should have happened. It's about what did happen, and that's you walking away with a podium finish. So, before we let you go here tonight, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, maybe thank anybody back home?
yes, Nick River Racing, my teammates Nick, Dan, Jake. I know you had a rough night, but it's just so much fun playing with you guys, and of course you, Dave, for putting this all together.
Well, Cody, we appreciate the kind words. I know your fellow competitors, teammates, and friends will appreciate the kind words as well. So until we meet again, we'll see if we can't talk at the end of the race next week at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So until then, stay safe, and as always, keep it fast.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
All right, there you go. Yet another driver in this post-race show. Surprised with the finish, but nonetheless going to walk away with a great points day. Cody Schultz going to bring that Kellogg's number 5 Ford Mustang home in second. And that's going to lead us to victory lane for what will be the first time this season. We're going to see if we can catch up and have a word or two with this man right here. Alan Bledsoe breaking through and getting it done here tonight. Alan, how you doing? How you feeling in victory lane? First time you got here this season. Got to be a good feeling here at Darlington.
Yeah, I mean, it's really bittersweet. I'm gonna be honest. That wreck with Riley absolutely could have been avoided, and it everybody's saying it wasn't my fault, but I definitely had a part in it. Um, it was just that gosh, it would have been so nice to be battling with Riley at the end. And instead it kind of turned into a spread out race for with fuel strategy and everything like that. Just um, I'm happy. I had two other races, both at Darlington this week. One Sunday, one Tuesday, and I won both of them.
Well, it looks like Darlington may be your wheelhouse then. And I want to mention
Homestead's
something.
actually my wheelhouse, but Darlington's a close second apparently.
Well, it might move to number one after this week. I'm just saying. 3 wins in what is it? Gonna be 5 day span? 4 day span? I mean, that's some
Let's
pretty
see,
good odds there.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, 4 days.
3 wins, 4 days. That's some pretty damn good odds. Just saying. Just saying. I mean, 75%, let's call it. That's pretty good.
I mean, just in days, yeah, but I didn't run a league on Monday.
Well, you can't lose them if you ain't running them. Just saying.
You're
No,
right.
But well, I want to touch on something that you kind of when we came to you, you kind of mentioned right away. We can tell it. I don't want to say it's messing with you or affecting your emotions of the race winning performance. Coming off of a corner like that, especially here at Darlington, if you lift, and this is my opinion, take it for what it's worth. We watched it under the replay. You lift coming off to avoid contact with a 9, and you're stuffing it into the wall. You're gonna hit the wall, and then there may be some more carnage behind you. It really is an unfortunate circumstance, especially between you two teammates. But just an unfortunate circumstance, racing deal. It happens. I'm sure your teammates are going to look over it. I'm sure the fellow competitors will get over it as well. But I mean, it happens sometimes. It is what it is. You just kind of roll with the punches and move on for it. I know it doesn't help that it is a teammate, but at the end of the day, I don't think there's very much you could have done to avoid that one. But from that moment on, you seem to be one of the fastest drivers in the field. You went back through the field there for a minute during the green flag pit stops. Were able to work your way through. Want to talk to you about that final green flag run real quick. You extended the run. Did you think you had enough tire life to work your way past the drivers that came to pit road a little bit sooner and that tried to run it all the way to the end?
Well, TJ's a teammate, and he was talking about how like he was really worried that he wasn't going to make it. He was about a lap and a half short, and it that ended up being true. He was about a lap and a quarter short by the time he ran out. And that's really unfortunate. Like he deserves the win in this league too, but yeah, honestly, I was just trying to split that run in half the best I could, and I knew that I had a little bit better tire wear than some of the other guys. I thought Daniel Jensen was actually pretty strong. I don't quite. I think didn't he get involved in a wreck with the 41 there? And that's kind of what took him out. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact between those two drivers a little bit later on, just past the halfway point. But yeah.
Yeah, he pitted, and he was already loose. I'm looking at it now, and he got the wall, and yeah, I thought he was a little bit better than me, honestly, in the long run. Maybe we were pretty even. I don't know, but he was going to be some pretty good competition. But yeah, it's just unfortunate to see all these fast cars get taken out of the race, and the win. I'm not going to say it just kind of got handed to me, but it felt like it did, and that's not the way I want to win. I want to race it. I want to earn it. But you know what? I'll take it anyway. It's a dub, my first one of the season, and look forward to next week. What is next week?
Next week, we're heading to Sin City, baby. We're hitting Viva Las Vegas. It's going to be one heck of a night.
Ooh, I'm strong there too.
I'm strong.
Especially in
I'm
these
strong at the
cars.
casino. So, man, maybe with your odds, as of late in my gambling prowess, maybe we can walk away with a lot in our back pocket.
Maybe. Well, I mean, I don't get anything for winning these, but except a lot of points. But heck, I wonder what the gambling looks like. The in our Discord. I wonder what that looks like.
Well, I know for sure I missed at least one. It was the lap time one. I'm definitely out on that one. I think. Well, you know what? I believe I am out on the race winner starting in the front row. Yeah, I think you ruined that one for me, bud. So appreciate it. No, I'm just kidding. It's probably looking pretty interesting, to be honest. We'll see what the odds and what the games are next week at Las Vegas. But Alan, a heck of a job here tonight from Darlington Raceway in the South Carolina Education Lottery 154. Before we let you go and celebrate the rest of the night away, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yeah. My dad, obviously number one. He's my biggest fan and always will be, I think. Texted me. Well, I'm not sure if I can say it on a broadcast, but holy poop, a three-peat, a Darlington sweep.
That's sweet.
Yes. And then, obviously you for putting this thing on so my dad can watch this thing. And all the admins for putting this thing together. They've done a great job for how many seasons now? What is it, 9, 8? It's been a stupid long run. I can't remember. But my teammates, the guys that were on the track were Riley and TJ, and they are. I mean, we qualified 1, 2, 3. So PRT brought some really quick cars this week. Yeah, I feel for Riley. This was his only start this season, and he got taken out with a super fast car. But heck, at least PRT got something, right? We got it. We won as a team. I'm gonna say that.
You win as a team, you lose as a team, and sometimes you get your entire team to enjoy the race win by walking away with the podium positions with you as well. Unfortunately, that didn't unfold here tonight, but still you're going to walk away with your first win this season. Job well done. Congratulations here tonight from Darlington. Until next time, we'll see if we can't talk to you at the end of next week's race in Las Vegas. Stay safe. Keep it fast.
Thanks, Dave. See ya.
All right, there you have it. Final few words from the man that walks away with the checkered flag, first place. First visit to victory lane this season. I don't think we've seen the last of Bledsoe in these post-race shows, so keep an eye on him as we continue. The final 4 weeks coming at you just around the corner here with the American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. But for the moment, Alan Bledsoe tops them all. It walks away with the checkered flag here tonight from Darlington Raceway. So yet again, another amazing night of racing for these Xfinity Series drivers. Can't say it enough, the amount of talent throughout this field. A little bit of chaos for a handful of drivers, but nonetheless, a great race here tonight that finishes under the lights. And as we get set to cut off the lights and roll up the cords, producers in the background already hitting those buttons. You know the sounds. You know it's time to run down tonight's unofficial race results in the South Carolina Lottery 154. Walking away with the top spot, checkered flag in hand for the first time here tonight, behind the wheel of that iconic 24 DuPont paint scheme. Alan Bledsoe will bring it to victory lane. Cody Schultz going to finish in second, with Doug Argabright back in third. Christian Abati going to come home fourth, finishing out your top 5 here tonight. Behind the wheel of his Texaco Havoline number 28 machine, Brian Tarnowski. Sliding home in sixth, TJ Grover tried that long run, tried to stretch the fuel to the end. It didn't quite work out, and Grover will finish in sixth. Nicholas Wing going to pilot his way into seventh, with Patrick Coro behind him in ninth. Ninth place tonight to the 77 of John Timms. Lieutenant Carlos Ramos going to finish out your top 10. 38 of Zach Miller going to lead a handful of laps, but have some trouble here tonight. Going to finish 7 laps down, back in the 11th position. Daniel Jensen going to bring that Budweiser number 4 home to 12th. Riley Hoots back in 13th. Nick Burlow 14th. Dave Gage going to finish the run here tonight, the 404, back in 15th, with Jake Dofing finishing out the 16-car field. That's going to do it for your unofficial race results. We're going to begin to get off the lights and roll up the cords here from Darlington Raceway. We've got a lot of great action coming up just around the corner, heading off into the final few weeks of season number 9. We're going to hit Sin City next week. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, followed by the short track of them all, Martinsville Speedway, Phoenix, and then finish it off with the championship night in Homestead. Hope to see you all there trackside. But before we go tonight, if you haven't already, remember to join us in that continued push to 4,000 subscribers. Show these drivers some love. Drop the thumbs up, click subscribe, smash that bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, Dave the Cave, or anybody else back at the headquarters. We appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. So with that being said, stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and until next time, we'll meet ya in Turn 3.